Ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing today? Oh, that was wholly insufficient. Let me put it a different way. Who in this room is excited that our kids have gone back to school this week? How many of you are excited that the neighbor kids went back to school after they were knocking on your door all summer? Okay, great. Well, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our August membership luncheon for the Chamber of Commerce. My name is Doug Cowan. I'm serving as your 2025 Independence Chamber of Commerce Chair of the Board of Directors. And my favorite part of the job is to MC events like this and to serve as your host and to welcome you. So we've turned the page. Summer is over. We're back to life. We know not everybody has eaten yet, so please continue to enjoy your food or hit the buffet line. But we have such a jam-packed program today that we are going to plow ahead. We're going to shorten just a little bit some of the formalities that we usually have at our chamber luncheon. So we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to need your attention real quick because we want to recognize some of you, but we're going to do it kind of in a group. So typically we have our ambassadors go table to table and recognize first-time attendees. So that's those of you that this is your first chamber lunch. So what we would like to do is, if this is your first ever chamber lunch, or if you are a brand new member of the Chamber of Commerce, will you all please stand up? Again, first-time luncheon attendees, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Let's welcome these folks. All right, sit down. Your 5 seconds of fame is over. No, we are so glad to welcome you to the Chamber family. To those of you that are brand new members, you're joining more than 600 committed businesses and organizations in Independence and surrounding areas that care about the business in our community. So welcome and thank you for being here today. Also, I know there's quite a few of these folks that are in the room. Normally we'd call you out by name. But if you are an elected official, city, county, state, school board, dog catcher, whoever, would you please stand? Would you please stand? Let's recognize all these folks. You know, I had one goal today. I had one goal, and that was to get a smile out of Dr. Bob Jerome. And the dog catcher comment did it. So Bob, thank you. How many of you were here last year and are excited to see if Dr. Jerome can again do a back handspring, round off, back flip, something? Oh, we need to cheer him on if we're going to see that again from Dr. Jerome. Now, what is really exciting, and I'm going to hear in just a second, I'm queuing you up to put your hands together. We've added to the content of this luncheon today because as most of you know, Independence is a huge community, 125,000 people, 78 square miles, and 4 phenomenal school districts that serve different portions of the community. In case you're not aware, of course, the Independence School District covers the major part of the community, but the Blue Springs School District covers a huge amount of area on the east side. The Fort Osage School District covers northeast Independence and Buckner and eastern Jackson County. And the Raytown School District has a very significant presence on the southwest portion of Independence. So all 4 of these school districts do a phenomenal job of educating students who live here in Independence. And typically, we've heard from Blue Springs, Fort Osage, and Independence, but we wanted to build a bigger tent this year. And so I'd ask that you give a very special welcome for their first time in joining us, our friends, including Dr. Martin Knox, the superintendent of the Raytown School District. And we will, of course, hear from all of our superintendents here shortly. And I think I have just one more special thank you, in case your hands are getting tired. But I live close to the corner of 23rd and Noland, and I go up and down 23rd Street a lot. And it's been exciting to see a new building coming out of the ground about halfway between Noland Road and Lee Summit Road. And it is a brand new drink station in our community, I'll call it that, called HTO, and it's been fun to see him come out of the ground. And they are here giving out tea today. So let's welcome HTO to Independence. And I believe there's information coming out, but their grand opening ceremonies start next week. So speaking of welcoming to the community, as most of you know, the Chamber of Commerce has, of course, is always a busy place to be, but early in 2025, our longtime president, Tom Lesnick, announced his retirement, and the Chamber Board of Directors set out to make a strategic hire to help find the right person to guide us into the future. You know that person. Her name is Valerie Burns. She joins us from St. Joseph, Michigan. She is an accomplished economic development and chamber leader who has relocated this area to help be part of the next chapter of our independence history. And the board is super excited about welcoming Valerie. So many of you have met her at some initial events, but this is her first chamber luncheon. So would you please give a very warm independence welcome to the new chamber president, Valerie Burns. You need that, don't you?
Yes, I do need that. Hello, so pleased to be here. When I thought about what I might like to say to this esteemed audience of business and community leaders, in under a minute, mind you, is what they gave me, what first came to mind was a quote by my fellow Michigander, Henry Ford. Coming together is a beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. That's what I see in this room of individuals, a collective spirit to support our community. Today, we have the privilege to shower that support on our leadership of our local ISDs. I can't wait to hear the messages that they have as they look to educating the next group of leaders that will embody this very room. So when asking what your chamber has done lately, please reflect on this moment. This, my friends, is the strength of your chamber in action. This is it. This is what we live. This is what we breathe. So thank you for being a part of that. We would like to thank our hosts, the City House, for their wonderful location, and Hy-Vee for their excellent food. We won't judge you if you do go through for seconds, but we will notice. I'd now like to welcome to the stage Ryan Minnick, the building engineer for Delta Innovative Services, to give us more insight on their business and how they serve our community. So welcome, Ryan.
Hey, thank you, Valerie. My name is Ryan Minnick. I'm with Delta Innovative Services. For those of you that may not know who we are, we're a commercial roofing and sheet metal company in town. I won't take a lot of your time. You're here to hear people actually speak, and I'm not the one. But yeah, we fix everything from a roof leak to any curb installs to just full replacements. A couple name drops around town. We roofed Casey Current, 2 light, 3 light, and we're repairing 1 light. We didn't roof that one, but we're repairing it. Anyways, all jokes aside, I have also, if you saw, you were the presenting sponsor here, we had a rowdy cooler. I want to call it a drawing, but it's not a drawing. It's different up here on the stage with the lights, guys. Not a drawing. You're all entered. You didn't even know it, right? So look under your placemat there with our sponsorship details. If under the right side, if you got the silver ticket or gold ticket or the Willy Wonka, whatever you get. Oh, we got the winner. Okay. Congratulations. That's all I got. So, yeah, we're actually right here at this table here. My name is Ryan Minnick. We got a few of our sales reps here. If you're interested in getting to know us, got Jason, JT, John, and myself. All right, well, I am done presenting here. Valerie? And Valerie won't mention this, and before she gets up here, I'm going to say, these lights are right in your eyes.
Thank you, Ryan. What a great asset in our community. Now let's dive into our State of the Schools program today. We will hear from 4 superintendents on their updates with their school districts. To get the ball rolling, we first have Dr. Jerome with Blue Springs School District. Please give a great round of applause in welcome.
Thank you so much. Always look forward to the opportunity to come and share a little bit about what's going on in the Blue Springs School District. It's an honor to serve as superintendent. I've already learned a couple things here this morning, which is one, from Doug, make sure that I smile more. Apparently I don't smile enough. And two, I've already learned that I'm a huge disappointment because I'm not going to do backflips this year, and I'm not going to be able to recover from that. So two things. But yesterday he did mention as well, it was our first day of school, and it's awesome to have that first day of school experience. And that's part of the great thing about being in education. I get to experience that every single year. For the past 26 years in the profession, I've had a chance to experience that. And, you know, a few things we want to accomplish on the first day, and superintendents will appreciate this. You want to pick up all the kids. You want to get them to school. You want to feed them. You want to care for them. And you want to get them back home safely. And those are the check marks. Those are what the things that you have to do. And it's no small feat because last year alone, our bus drivers drove about 1.5 million miles in routes over the course of the year. Our school lunch staff served 544,000 breakfasts and 1.3 million lunches over the course of the year. And our health clinics saw about 114,000 different visits to our health clinics over the years. So there's a lot of moving parts, but our team always does it with grace and kindness as our kids come in to schools each and every single day. We had some storms come through yesterday morning, and that knocked the power out at James Lewis Elementary, and they were without power until about 11 o'clock. And what do you do in education? You improvise, you adapt, and you overcome. And in that scenario, Devin Sepperly, the principal at James Lewis, and his team rallied the troops and got them all in the gym, which is also a FEMA shelter. So it has a generator that gives them power, light, AC, and they had a school assembly to start their day in the first day of school on the way back. So on the other note, I got home last night, and I talked to my two daughters who are both in high school, junior and a freshman, asked them how their day went, you know, how'd it go? Went great, felt different this year. And I said, why did it feel different? And my junior says, everyone was just a lot more connected and engaged. And I said, well, why was that? No cell phones. The Missouri legislature passed the no cell phone policy. So for the first time, 9/12, we don't have cell phones from bell to bell. And it went exceptionally well on the first day. All kids were doing great. Staff was doing great. So we'll see how that plays out over the course of the year. I'm really excited about that. So last week, we had a chance to welcome back our entire team. We've outgrown space in our district. So for the last 3 years, we've been at Cable Dahmer Event Center and had our district convocation. So over 2,500 staff members, certified, classified, joined us. Defying Gravity is our theme. We were highlighting student performances. Our performing arts programs in the district are absolutely amazing. The talent is incredible. We had student singers. We had the Wildcat Jazz Ensemble. We had messages from our district teacher of the year, Jillian Littlejohn, and a student speaker, Grace Donnell, from Blue Springs High School. Words of inspiration. It was just a tremendous way to kick off the year. And if you know my presentations in the past, I always like to begin by highlighting one of our students. And last year, late last year, had the privilege of speaking to a familiar face. If you've seen my presentations before, the young man is named Aiden, and he's back with some thoughts on school budget. So I want to roll that video clip. This is where the backflip comes in play, yeah. If I need to move ahead and play the clip. Video did not transfer over. Okay, well, huge disappointment because Aiden is a rock star. Just to give you a quick Cliff Notes version, he sat down with me, and I do interviews with Aiden every year, and this year he had some information that he wanted to share about the signage that we were painting out in front of his school. Keep in mind, Aiden is a second grader last year. He says, you spend a lot of money on those signs out in front of our school. And I said, well, we want to make sure the school looks good. He goes, but our air conditioning doesn't work. He goes, I think we want to be more comfortable in classes than having nice painted signs out front. And I said, well, Aiden, that's a brilliant point. That is a brilliant point. And he also said, you know, I think that school districts, what's that? You're going to get it. Okay. So I won't spoil the rest of that video clip because Katie, our PR director, is brilliant and she's working on a solution. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to a couple other things in our district. So for the last couple of years, we've been focused on building that strategic plan. It was a 200-person collaborative effort that really identified where they want us to go as a school community over the next several years. And a big emphasis on where they want us to head is those real-world learning, engaging, innovative opportunities for kids that prepare them for their futures and their college and or career pathways. And how do we build more of those opportunities within our system is a real point of emphasis. In addition to that, they want to make sure that we take opportunities to teach kindness across our system, making sure that everyone is kind to one another, takes care of each other in our school community, which I thought was really profound, and that initiative came from one of our kids. And so that's our strategic plan, and as a result of that plan that was put in place, we have 4 action items over the next 4 slides I will share with you that is connected to this strategic plan. So if you could go ahead and click the next slide, please. We had an opportunity to introduce these real-world experiences at the elementary through 8th grade, middle school level, and we competed in the first ever state competition for spheros. And so if you see the picture up there, those little round circular spheros are programmable, and our kids in the K-8 learning space were competing in those sphero events at the state and the world level. And we had 4 schools that placed in both categories. So we had Chapel Lakes, Boy Spears, Brittany Hill Middle School, and Moreland Ridge Middle School, all competing and succeeding in this STEM learning opportunity through the Sphero Challenge, which we were really excited about. Next slide. Design thinking is something that is brand new this year at the middle school level in our district. It is a project-based learning approach to education, which is super engaging and really focuses on teaching our kids the soft skills they need to be successful as they move forward into high school and beyond. And so one of the goals in this project-based learning approach is for the kids, by the time they leave as 8th graders, they have a resume that is beginning to be developed that can highlight some of those soft skills they're going to need to be employable in the future or to pursue those career and college pathways. So we're really engaged in this process. It was invigorating for our teachers to learn about how to do this, and our kids seem to be really gravitating towards that. AI is something that is changing the landscape of education on a day-to-day basis. The K-12 landscape is changing, the world is changing with artificial intelligence. And this year our district adopted a new program called School-8, which is learning and teaching our kids in a safe space on how to use AI effectively and appropriately. Not only that, to do it ethically. You know, when can you use AI in instruction and learning versus when you need to do everything authentically as your own. And that's trying to figure that out and learn that on the fly is really a challenge. This school provides some of those parameters and frameworks so it's done in a positive way, so they're not just pulling things from the internet and submitting them as their own. And we're teaching them that that's not okay. There's certain ways that you could supplement or aid in your learning experience, but not to replace what it is that you need to really start to understand and grasp and master in the way of skills as you move forward through the system. So School-8 is a good addition for us. Communication was also a key priority identified in the strategic planning process, was how do we improve as a school district by way of communicating to our school community. And we did that in 2 ways. One, something that I've always wanted us to focus on and develop is a new website that is more accessible and appropriate for finding relevant information for our school community to make sure that they are able to navigate and find the answers that they need in our district quickly. So we instituted a new website and also introduced Parent Square, which is a one-stop shop for all things communications, a communication hub for our parents and our teachers and our coaches and sponsors and administration. So when we communicate from the district level to our community, when we communicate from the building level or teachers to students, parents to teachers, it's all done under this space called Parent Square. It's been very favorable in those responses early on. We're excited about this addition for our district moving forward. James Walker Elementary was recognized as a Gold Star school and also a distinguished school, meaning that they are closing the gap in academic achievement in their school building. And this is a Title I school, so they have some student groups, learning groups that are performing exceptionally well in all areas. And we're hopeful to learn in the near future that they will be receiving another National Blue Ribbon School Award. And we'll find that out later this fall. William Yates Elementary, that resides in the independent city limits. William Yates was recognized by Prime Center, St. Louis University, as closing the gap in the area of mathematics. And so for the last 2 years, they're continuing to excel. Last year, they were 5th. This year, they're ranked 2nd. So William Yates is doing great work there, too. Garrett Flack. Garrett Flack was highlighted, as you see at the bottom right, by Mayor Levisay from Blue Springs. Garrett is the most decorated speech and debate student in the history of our school district. He won the national championship, students across the country, the national championship in congressional debate last year, which is absolutely phenomenal. He has a future in politics, and watch out, this kid's a rock star. He is amazing, yeah. And really, all that's right with public education. He presents well. We take him to the state capitol, or have the last several years, and he just knocks their socks off with what he knows about politics. It's pretty impressive to watch. For the last 2 years, our school district has been crowned the state champion in Class 6 baseball. Last year was, 2024, I should say, Blue Springs High School won the state championship. 2025, Blue Springs South was down 6-0 in the 5th inning, came back to win 8-6 against Staley. So won the championship there last spring and celebrated them earlier this year at one of our board meetings. Last spring, the Golden Regiment Marching Band took a trip overseas to Dublin, Ireland, and performed in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And the Jazz Ensemble also had a chance to perform in the bottom right in some really special performance event space at Dublin. And they were actually named the best band in the Dublin Parade, the St. Patrick's Day Parade. So that was pretty special. Not to be outdone in learning experiences that happen outside of the classroom, the Blue Springs South Band, Orchestra, and Choir are all headed to London to experience the London New Year's Day Parade as they travel overseas. So we're excited about that opportunity for kids. Got 1 minute? Okay. All right, we're going to fly. Some new additions in our district, building-wise. We added performance event space and meeting space, band rooms at all 4 middle schools. So you see that pictured there. There's the performing art space, so you'll get to have musicals and performances in that new space. It's also high wind shelters moving through. That's the new band room. Franklin Smith, our second oldest elementary in the district, received new office space up front, meeting space, and a brand new library. You see there pictured on the left. James Walker, new reception area, and additional workspace and an art room for their community, which is awesome. William Yates, again, in the independent city limits. But Blue Springs Schools had 6 classrooms added to their building. They're a growing building. The population continues to expand. And again, they were named Blue Ribbon winners last year. So apologize for the technical difficulties. Thank you for your time and learning a little bit about the district. And I'm looking to see who I'm introducing next. I believe we have Independence and Dr. Grant. So come on up.
Good morning. All right. I just want to start by giving a little shout out to Dr. Jerome, Dr. Snodgrass, and Dr. Martin Knox for their support of me as I entered this new role as interim superintendent and being so gracious in answering any questions that I have. I just thank them for their support. So huge round of applause to them and the support that they've given me. And here's a little tidbit of information. I've been around a long time. My family's been around a long time, such a long time that my mom was Dr. Jerome's 8th grade social studies teacher at Hall McCarter Junior High. There's a little connection there, so that's just a little bit of fun. But I'm so excited to be here today to share about the great things that have been taking place in the independent school district and that I get to be a part of with all of your support, because honestly, we could not do it without all of you. So if we could, I would like to start with a video. If you could start the video.
I knew I wanted to be a teacher because of all of the amazing teachers that I had here growing up in the ISD.
If I had a name off the top of my head, it'd probably be Julie Crowell. I know Sarah Nelson, Angela Weatherford,
SRO is school resource officer. He impacted my life.
Chris Corey, Richie Shust. I could probably go on and on.
There is a sense of pride coming back to my community.
I know that we have the best staff and the best teachers around.
I know how my girls feel when they come home from school and they tell me all about their day. I love to think that I'm doing that for other kids.
My kids are my why. They're why I show up every day and love what I do.
The summer months, I kind of missed him. Heavy on the kind of.
It's really inspiring as an adult seeing the younger generations do better than we ever got to do. I chose to come back to ISD and William Chrisman specifically because it's my home. It's where I grew up. I know everybody here. I feel like I have family here. As an alumni, it's very important to me that I'm working within the ISD so I can make a difference for students, just how some of the staff members made a difference for me.
I decided to come back to the independent school district because it feels like home, and after student teaching with Robin and all of the amazing staff at Cordy, I just knew that this is where I belong.
I wanted to come back to work in the independent school district because I was helped out a lot when I was young, and so I just wanted to give back to the people who gave to me.
I love working with kids, keeping me closer to the kids and connecting with the kids. It's something I like to do, so this was a no-brainer. When I was in high school, I wasn't the best student, the best teenager. I got myself in trouble, and my SRO is the first person that ever showed that he cared. A lot of kids don't have a positive role model as a male figure in their lives. That's something that I was lacking tremendously, and that's something my SRO did for me when I was in high school.
Here in high school, middle school, there was always people to love on you if you were having a hard time, and I did. I had a lot of really rough patches in my school career, and I was always helped at school, and so I love giving that same safe space back.
I needed a safe space growing up, so coming back and being that same safe space for kids like me is really important.
My original source of inspiration was Mrs. Wigman, my kindergarten teacher at Spring Branch Elementary. She was the one who showed me the power and the influence that teachers have on their students' lives. Ironically, as an English teacher, I really struggled to read in kindergarten, and I had this mindset of, I can't do this, I can't. But for every time that I said I can't, she was right there next to me to say, you can't yet. And it was that power of yet and that mindset of yet that sort of carried me through every other adversity in my life. My senior year, I was actually McKinney-Vento, which not a lot of people know that. So it's important to have the staff members that I had my senior year for me to be as successful as I am today. It's a full circle moment for me because I started here and I plan on hopefully ending my working career here as well.
My message for everyone coming back into the school year would be to remember that you are the most important person to a lot of these students and that they need this space. So to enjoy the small amount of time that you have with them this year.
I would like to say to everyone starting the new school year, just keep an open mind every single day. Each day looks a little bit different, and we never know what our kids are going through. So we need to have the most open mind and open heart that we can. So just remember to give yourself grace, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful school year. And as always, go Bears.
You know, for me, I wanted to share that video because that truly speaks to the heart of what we do as school districts, all of our school districts, and it just shows the impact that we can make, and we believe in what we do, and it's because of all of you supporting us that we're able to do that. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. Now, what I'd like to do, and because of all of your support, I had the opportunity, oh, there I am, right back there, to be a guest host on Good Morning Mondays with Paula McKinney. Where's Paula, the host? She does an amazing job. She's out there. But one of the questions that Paula asked was, what am I most proud of? And my answer, oh, there's Paula right there. Give her a round of applause. All right. But my answer was, I am most proud of our people, our students, our families, our staff, our community, and it's because of all of that that we can be so successful. And what I would like to share now is part of our successes due to all of that is our Comprehensive School Improvement Plan, our CSIP, our strategic plan for this upcoming year and where we've been. This is just a kind of general overview of what we have been doing, and this was developed, our 5-year plan, with the support of stakeholders, students, parents, family members, and community members, all weighing in about the direction that we needed to go. And so if we can go on to the next slide, we have 5 core areas: academic achievement, high quality staff, facilities, parent community involvement, and technology. And so I'm just excited to share with you a few of those accomplishments from the last few years. So right now, you may or may not be aware, the Independent School District did transition to a 4-day instructional week a couple of years ago. And we've seen great results in relation to that. So last year, our APR, we've continued to increase and have grown over 10%. That's huge. Our market value assets, thank you. College and career readiness, workforce development is huge. And our market value assets, or we like to call them our MVAs, something is a part of our Comprehensive School Improvement Plan. This past year, in 23-24, we were at 86%, and we just got our preliminary results. And remind you, these are the results that we will submit. We are at 94% for every student having an MVA that graduated last year. Now, those are preliminary, so we'll get our final results in the fall from Kaufman after they've taken a look at all of that. But by 2030, we need to be at 100% for the state of Missouri. So we're well on our way, and that is huge for workforce development within this community and for all of you. So we're very proud of that. And then actually, if we can go back one more, not quite done. Academic growth, this is a big one. Every single one of our grade levels and subject areas saw significant growth and were deemed on target or exceeds. That is huge, and that goes to credit to our staff, students, and families for all of their hard work. So we're really excited about that. High quality staff. These last couple of years, teacher retention, teacher shortage out there. We've got to pour into our staff. Teacher retention rate at the end of last year, we were able to retain 90.8% of our staff. That is amazing. Our teacher average years of experience within our district over the past couple of years has increased. We'll call them our freshman crop, they're not all freshmen, but all coming to us, their average years of experience this year is 8.5 years of experience. We know the number one impact for student achievement and success is the quality of the teacher. That speaks volumes. That's compared to, prior to the 4-day implementation, we were at 4.4 years of experience. Also, looking at our staff received the highest paid increase in the last 2 years, so that's a great accomplishment. We offer employee benefits as well. Our staff members, if they own their own home and choose to participate in our child care programs, before and after school care, and or our early childhood programming, and own their own home, we will reimburse them 75% of that cost. We also have free health clinic as well as our wellness program. Parent community involvement. This is a big one for me this year, all right? As a new interim superintendent, it's important to me to hear what our community, our stakeholders are saying and hearing. And so we are doing that. And as we take a look at our Comprehensive School Improvement Plan, our events that we're holding, looking at our World Cafe events, I'll be hosting roundtables. We're gonna be meeting with our PTAs here in the next month. They will be coming together, our PTA presidents. And then I'm working to develop a roundtable with our Hispanic Advisory Council. So those are gonna be some upcoming roundtable events that we're having. And then if we can go to the next one, facilities. You know, this is exciting. You all, our community has been such an advocate for us. In the last decade, they've passed 2 levies for salary increases and 2 bond issues. And so that's been a great asset so that we've been able to continue to make improvements. And so I think our next slide, we're gonna take a look at some of our facility upgrades. This is Nowlin. Who knew windows could be so exciting, but they are very exciting. They are very exciting, and they make a huge difference. This is Nowlin. If we can go to the next one, we have another photo of some more windows. Then Cordy Elementary. I do like the black windows a little bit better. I just think they pop a little bit more. Cordy is a feeder for Nowlin, so those are some upgrades there. And then Fairmount Elementary has been busting at the seams. So we took the auditorium and converted the auditorium to 6 additional classrooms to accommodate. And so here is what this is looking like with all of that. Those classrooms, they're excited to start the year. And then I think if we go back, we have one more video to play. And we can take a look at that. It's because this has got some, oh, backwards. We have one more video. Can we go back? Anyway, if we can't, that's okay. But I wanted to show you Chrysler Stadium. How many of you remember the great Chrysler Stadium, right? How many of you grew up playing at Chrysler Stadium, right? You did. I know that, Dr. Jerome. But that is now the proud home of our Van Horn boys baseball team. We renovated that, and that was great, and so I was wanting to show that. But to top this all off, I just want to say thank you to you for supporting the district and all that you've given to us, and so we just hope that we can give back to you. So I thank you. And now I believe, am I introducing you, Dr. Snodgrass? There you go, Dr. Jason Snodgrass.
Thank you very much. It's always great to be here. This is one of the exciting times to start the school year. We started school yesterday at Fort Osage School District. Couldn't have been a better day. So excited. This is starting my 11th year as superintendent of schools, the 17th year at Fort Osage School District. So Dr. Jerome, I think I have you beat by 3 years. This is my 29th year in education. I know he looks a little older, but we won't talk about that. He's got a lot more hair. That's a great one. So this is the first year in 17 years that there's not a Snodgrass enrolled in the Fort Osage School District. When we moved to Fort Osage School District, I was the high school principal. I had a first grader and 4 two-year-olds. Right here is a picture of graduation ceremony last spring. It was amazing. It was a great event. And they truly are what I would say a product of the Fort Osage School District. So they went all the way through Early Childhood Center, elementary, and then the high school. They also went to the Career and Technology Center. We'll talk a little bit more about the opportunities they had in that space. So on last Thursday, we had the opportunity to go to UCM, University of Central Missouri, and drop off Alex. Alex does not know a stranger. I think he's already running for homecoming king. He was going around. He was checking with everybody, making sure he knew he was from Fort Osage and Independence. He's a very proud graduate of Fort Osage High School, and I love that. The 2 girls, Emma and Paige, are starting today at Blue River. They are utilizing their A+ monies. Emma is also getting her real estate license. And also, Ryan on the right there, he could not be more proud to be an HVAC technician, a licensed technician through our Career and Technology Center than him. I will say, yeah. And I'll talk a little bit more. Both superintendents previously talked about our real world learning. That's a result of that. He is passionate. I will say he got home last night. And does anyone know what brazing is? You have to use fire and all the things. He said, "Dad, does my hair look singed?" I said, "Yes, it does." So we're learning to braise. So again, so excited about the start of the school year and the opportunities we have. Yesterday, as mentioned, was the first day of the school year at Fort Osage. We had approximately 5,000 students, and it was a great day of learning. Everyone was excited. And our theme this year is Show Up for Impact. And Show Up for Impact just isn't, it's not a theme, it's a mindset in our school district. We're so excited about the opportunity. Show up for impact every day. Not just some of us, but all of us. And make sure that we are providing opportunities for students, that we're engaged, that we're excited, that we're goal setting, that we're collaborating. And it matters. It matters how I show up every day. It matters how our principals show up. It matters how our bus drivers show up. And we couldn't be more excited. As superintendent of schools, it's not uncommon for me to go into elementary schools In fact, I have the opportunity next Monday to take pictures with all the kindergartners. That's what just kind of a tradition we do. We send that home with our kindergarten students later that day. But most commonly asked question that I receive when I go to elementaries is, who are you? And then the next question is, after I say I'm Dr. Snodgrass, I'm the superintendent, they say, what's a superintendent? And if you think about it, that answer is sometimes more challenging to give to an elementary student. But the most elementary answer, which is probably just what it is I get the opportunity to work with every student, every classroom, every teacher, and every staff member. And it's just an amazing job. But when I go throughout the district, the one word that I see that resonates across all classrooms is engagement. It's so crucial that we engage every student. If you take that further, it's so crucial that we build relationships. If we want to build in our academics and activities, it starts with relationships. And that's important for us at the Fort Osage School District. We'll give a funny story here. I hope everybody finds this to be funny. I think this was my first year as superintendent, so I'm going back a few years now. I walked into the kindergarten classroom. There were two little boys standing there talking. And you know whenever they're having a conversation and they almost forget you're there, but they're having the interaction. And they both looked at each other, and one of them said, who is he? And he said, I'm not sure. And he said, is he the president? And the other one looked at him and said, I don't know, but if he is, my mom didn't vote for him. So, very humbling experience, but it is a true story. Fort Osage School District has approximately 800 staff members. That's both classified and certificated staff members. We traveled approximately 800,000 miles last year. A side note to our transportation department, each year, school districts receive their highway patrol inspection. That's a 100-point inspection. We have 54 buses in our district, and they received a 100% on that inspection. Couldn't be more proud of them. We have 350 acres that we maintain. We continue to grow and add properties, and we have now nearly 1 million square feet under roof that our custodians on a daily basis do a tremendous job with. We have 7,000 devices. That's primarily Chromebooks. We became a one-to-one district where each student has a Chromebook or a device. This is the 13th year that we've been one-to-one in our school district. We served 900,000 meals in our district last year. That does not include this summer. We added another 56,000 meals to that. So we're talking about our summer feed program that we used and went to different mobile sites around the community, as well as our summer school program. Our teachers engaged in over 30,000 hours through Career Ladder. Career Ladder is a state program that if your district chooses to participate, the state takes 60%, spends 60% of that cost. The district is at 40%. So what we're doing is engaging students. And so before or after school, we had 110 clubs at our elementaries alone. So we're talking about art club, chess club, engineering club, girls on the run, the list goes on and on of engaging kids. That also includes tutoring. So again, we're very proud to be able to engage students, impact students, but also have an opportunity to provide some additional funding for teachers. Like the other superintendents engaged, and not only in this room, but around the metro, we are engaged in real-world learning opportunities for our school, for our students. We're so proud of that opportunity. And we have last year, 5 years ago we began this, we had 29% of our students that had at least one market value asset when they walked across the stage. And just like Dr. Grant mentioned, preliminary numbers for us are at 96%. 96% of our students who walked across that stage are prepared with either 9 hours of college credit. They've received an industry-recognized credential that's in one of our 19 programs that we offer, not only at Fort Osage, but in partnership with Blue Springs School District. So proud of that partnership. And beyond that, we have a coffee shop, and we also have client-based projects. When I say client-based projects, we're talking about opportunities for business owners, for companies to partner with our students, typically through Fort Connect, our new program. And they're doing all kinds of things. They're working with Centerpoint, the City of Independence, They're working within our walls of our school district. So I wanted to do this. If you had an intern in your business, office, company, would you please stand to be recognized, please, working with our school district? Last year, in enhancing these programs, just this past year, we added a fire tower. It's the picture on your upper left. It's a 3-story structure that students through our fire academy, fire science program will learn how to navigate the stairs, obviously work on the roof, and also there's a burn room that reaches temperatures up to 1,000 degrees. Separately, we have a Fort Osage food truck, which we received through grants, and also separately our food service program budget, which is specifically to enhance our food program. We are already traveling our coffee shop. Our students are utilizing it with campus grounds. We're using it for professional development. We served 2,300 meals out of that work truck or food truck this summer through our summer feed program. Fort Connect students will receive a warm meal every day utilizing that as well. So we're so excited about our food truck. The picture on the right is our new construction trades building. We're not even in that space yet. That was just constructed last spring and this summer. It will have a classroom for our construction trade students as well as 24 workstations. And then the bottom left is just part of our normal summer projects. This is what we call Gym 2 at our district. It's our old varsity gym. So before we have a brand new field house, this is the space. We completely remodeled it this summer and it looks wonderful. School safety is on the forefront of everyone's mind if you're an educator. It certainly as well as a parent. And I would like to say that the school safety is simply a journey. You never make it to where you want to be. You always continue to work and improve. We became the first school district in Missouri 5 years ago to train every staff member on what we call Stop the Bleed, which is tourniquet training. We reviewed that again this year with everybody before school started, as well as having every single building have school protection specialist. So the piece with that is we utilize a company called Strategos. And not only they are protecting our buildings, being very active, walking the perimeter, walking the hallways, but they're also engaging students. It's exciting to walk in and seeing them protect their school, but opening milk cartons as well at lunch. It's just really neat to see. We received a grant for new AED machines, and we're placing that order as we speak to be able to have additional AED machines in our district. Cameras, we are currently up to 500 cameras in our district. They're new. We continue to add to that list, so that's the necessary thing that we feel is important, is to continue to upgrade our safety. Dr. Jerome mentioned this piece. It was through Senate Bill 68. And I concur what he said. Yesterday I went to the high school during lunch, and I didn't see a cell phone out. Now, there probably was, maybe. I didn't see it. But there was active conversations, discussions, and we know it'll be challenging until we get into our new norm. But we truly believe that this will help engage students in the academics. There are obviously, through this slide, you can see some exceptions that we're aware of, but devices aren't just cell phones. There's all kinds of means to text and communicate, so we're aware of that. So we've communicated with kids, and it's off to a great start. Other student supports. School districts are far more than academics and far more than just clubs and activities. We're also providing opportunities for students and supports through mental health and also just social well-being. We also have, this started this year, a new service called Reach Out. It's a company that we partnered with that provides 24-hour-a-day, 365-day counseling for our students. So this doesn't replace our counselors or social workers in our district. But this is something that if a student is having challenges over the summer or on the weekend specifically or after hours, that they can reach out and receive a licensed counselor in conversation. Bright Futures, we're excited to start this program last year in our school district. This is an organization that is partnering with other organizations to help students with their needs such as finding clothes, food, just the basic necessities. And this is such an opportunity for us to partner with our parents and our families. We also constructed a new care closet. It's a 25 by 20 building, which houses all those necessity items where our social workers can go in there and get those things for students. Our facilities master plan, 10 years ago, nearly in 2016, we created a facilities master plan. Since that time, we've had 2 bond issues, and we've had nearly $80 million of improvements in our district, primarily our early childhood center. We have a new district maintenance office and technology building. We did lots of renovations to other spaces. We are now have completed 14 of the 19 main projects listed in that facility master plan, and now we're working toward an opportunity to have a possible another bond issue as early as April. So we'll have some community engagement meetings. Primarily on that list still is several renovations to our elementary schools, middle school, and also our Career and Technology Center. Partnerships are important, and I've said that word several times. Partnerships within our school district, it starts there. Everyone working together to help students, having one goal. We also know it's important to partner with parents. How powerful is it when educators partner with parents? Great things can happen. We also partner in our district and believe it is so crucial to partner with school districts. Dr. Grant mentioned this, but I truly want to echo that. We're competitive. There's no question when it comes to activities and those kinds of things. But also you can pick up the phone and partner and have conversation, which is very powerful. Partnerships with the city, partnerships with the state and federal. We partner a lot. Our partnership at Fort Osage School District is important to us in regard to the Chamber of Commerce and the people who are seated in this room. So with that, I just want to thank you for your engagement. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. And we're so excited to be here. Thank you, guys. And our next speaker is Raytown's Superintendent, Dr. Penelope Martin-Knox.
So, good afternoon. Let me try that again. Good afternoon. My background is in the arts, and so if you don't engage your audience, you're doomed. And so that's why I needed you to say good afternoon, just a little louder. As Dr. Snodgrass stated, I'm Dr. Penelope Martin-Knox. I'm a proud superintendent of Raytown Quality Schools. And so just giving a little background about myself, I'm entering into my 4th year as the superintendent of Raytown Quality Schools. Completed 3 years, and I'm still standing. Prior to that, I did 3 years as a superintendent, but before that, all of my career was served in Baltimore County Public Schools in Baltimore, Maryland. And so I am a long way from home, but this is home. And so my focus, regardless as to where I have been and what positions I've maintained, my focus has always been doing what's best for children. So my first year coming into the district and coming new to the community, I needed to learn about the community. And so every year we've had a different theme. With the exception of the first 2 years, we remained the same. And they were built based on my observations, not just the observations of myself, but from my team. Let me put another disclosure in front. I have a PowerPoint. I don't follow directions well. The other piece about me is no one's here with me today, and they usually send someone so they can babysit and make sure I follow directions. So I need you all to agree. If you get a call from anyone that said, did she follow directions? By show of hands and a nod, say you're going to say yes. Because I've already gotten away from my PowerPoint. And so I teach her by heart. And I always tell people, if I'm standing in front of you, I automatically go into teacher mode. So if you didn't like school, you're not going to like the presentation. But I just ask that you behave. And so when we talk about the work that we have to do for children, you're talking about someone who's always been invested in the work for children. Because, see, I was that child who was raised by my grandmother in a single-family home in Baltimore with just a person who just made sure I went to school each and every day and I was cared for. I was that child who was always focused, but my classmates always weren't those children. And so I have to remind our educators sometimes, those children, when they come through the door, they're not the children we always want them to be. They're the children we receive, and we are getting the very best that our parents send us, and we have to make the very best for them. Next slide. The first theme that we focused on upon my arrival was making sure we are a ray of hope, providing students with happiness, opportunity, and a sense of purpose that will lead them to excellence. Because when we're educating children, it's not just about what they're doing in school. It's not just about a test score, but it's about what we're implementing and imparting in them so they can be successful upon their completion of that school journey. The next theme we had was providing our students with the keys today for a successful tomorrow. We get one time to get it right. And what I'm saying to you is not anything new that I haven't said with my teachers, what I haven't said to my staff, that I haven't said with my community. And this year, our theme is, we are what we repeatedly do, and we're rooted in excellence. And I referred to us in the work as an oak tree, because an oak tree goes through this cycle and it sheds its leaves, but what it does, it continues to bloom as the seasons change. And I need us to be reminders to our children that we are resilient and we will continue to move forward. And you may not get it right the first time, but you have opportunities to get it right the next time. But I need you to continue to persevere, to be resilient, and to stay focused. And we'll get it done, and we'll get it done together. The same thing that I've shared with my community. So when we talk about getting the work done, next slide, I think I'm doing pretty good here. When I first arrived, I had to build a new team. My entire team is absolutely new of executive leaders. They are all new to Raytown with the exception of one who served as a principal in Raytown, because I believe a lot of times we forget what those historical components are, and we need to have that historical context to have an understanding of where we've been and where we need to go. So I'm grateful for the team that is serving and working with me each and every day. Today is our first day of school, and so when we got the invitation, and so thank you for the invitation to be here. I'm so proud of that. And so when my secretary said, yeah, I'm going to tell them no because it's the first day of school, I said, no, don't do that. I would like to be a part of the community as well. So let's make some shifts here and there, and I'll hit the schools this morning, and then I'll go back this afternoon. Nobody will miss me, trust me. And so the first thing that we looked at is, as a superintendent, my colleagues will tell you that the work can't be done if you don't have the support of your board. And so when I looked, we had the superintendent's goals, we had the district goals, we had the board goals, and I was like, how do we implement and be effective with 3 different pathways? So we sat down with the board, we sat with the staff, we sat with the community, and we built what we call our school district board and district goals, so that everyone understands the direction in which we need to go. We talked about academics, we talked about finances, we talk about teacher retention, we talk about facilities and operations, but there's a 5th component that's in there. It's called board governance. And we made sure that was in there so they can evaluate themselves. Oftentimes that conversation doesn't take place. They just want to talk about me. Let's talk about you too. So we put that 5th one in there. Don't tell them I said that, please. And so when we talk about the board and district goals, I just went through all of those factors. But we also developed what we call our strategic plan, and my colleagues talked about it while they were here. The strategic plan is your map of what needs to be accomplished based on your observations, based on the data, based on the direction in which we need to go to ensure that almost 8,000 children experience success. And so when we look at our strategic plan, it's focused on learning, teaching, leadership, professional learning, and a wider community. We started the year off with professional learning. And as I said, we've been taught what to do and how to do it in college, but now we need to reshape our learning and thinking, because if we continue to do the same thing we've been doing, we're always going to get what we've always gotten. And our children change from day to day, and they're not the same children that we were when we were in school, because I was perfect. I don't know about you all, but I was perfect as a child. Next slide. All of that work that took place has now transitioned and formed what we call our profile of a learner. It's not called the profile of a graduate, because I believe in this work, not only are our children learning, but so are we as adults. And so this needs to be embraced not only by our students, but by our community, by our leaders, by our teachers. so that we are moving in that direction to meet the needs of our children. And so our students will have this. This is the first year that we are actually implementing our profile of a learner, and students will actually be able to see what is expected of them. We have goals, we have objectives, we have plans, but do we ever communicate them to the children to say where we're going? We don't usually have those conversations. Now, when we talk about talking to children, I spent this morning in a schoolhouse, and I can outdo my colleagues because they said that they wouldn't be voted on. But there's this thought going around the district that my name is the Empress. And so I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but when they say it, I just smile and wave back. So if someone knows that there's another meaning behind that, let me know. But did I outdo you, Dr. Snodgrass? I have some more names too I can share, but. And so when we talk about the profile of the learner, again, it's embracing our children. It's embracing what we do. Next slide, please. And so I wanted to talk about the data. And when we look at the data of Raytown, it fluctuates. We have a high mobility rate. But I always say, I don't care where a child has come from. Once they've crossed that, I feel like I'm going to come off the stage. But once they cross that threshold, they're ours. And so when we look at our data and when we're looking at those numbers, while the numbers may look constant, the children who are behind those numbers change. Next slide, please. When we look at our demographics, they too have also shifted. And so when we look at the data of Raytown, if we look at it over the past 10 years, it has done a demographic shift. And so our student population looks a little different, which also drives our socioeconomics as well. And so this is what Raytown looks like if you come to visit, and I hope you don't just drive by and you come and visit. This is what our school district will look like. Very diverse, but it is also very impactful and powerful. Next slide. And so when we talk about our free and reduced population, that number continues to shift, but we're almost 50% free and reduced meals for the new students that we meet, the needs we meet. And so we look at that data every year as superintendents just to see how we can support our children. And so not only do we need to support our children, but we also need to support our staff. And so one of the things that we have in Raytown, I don't know if you know, but we have a wellness center. And the wellness center has a gym, and it also has a physician that will service our staff. And so they will get appointments immediately, because when you're looking at all the work, when we talk about meeting students' needs with free and reduced meals and all those other factors, we also have to meet the needs of our staff, which goes back to the goals that we've established. Next slide, please. When we look at our graduation rate, we're at 76.6. It's fluctuating, but it's not good enough. Because what I've said to the staff is, one child left behind is too many. And so we're always going to focus on what we're doing for our children. So we're shaping the way we educate children. This year we're moving into something new in our ninth grade, in our high schools, with the ninth grade academy. And when you're talking about the academies, it's really providing students with all those things we talked about in terms of the themes. And that's making sure we're giving them a sense of hope. We're giving them options so when they graduate, they're able to make the determination as to whether they wanted to go into the workforce, whether they want to go into the military, or whether they want to go to college, or whether they encompass all three. Just as long as they have the skills that we are giving them and that we're working with them and their families with, we're able to allow our children to understand they can do anything they want to do. And so when we're looking at the attendance rates, we also, you can go to the next. The attendance rates, yes. And so we focused on the attendance rates, and not just to be punitive with students when they're not coming to school, not being punitive with our parents when children aren't coming to school, but determining why they're not coming to school. Is it that the child hasn't had anything to eat? Do they have enough clothes? Do they have something to get them to and from school? Are they homeless? All these other factors need to play a part in making the determination of how we're meeting the needs of our children, not just looking at the data and setting there. So we developed an attendance team, and those individuals monitor the data from all of our schools. We actually have these guiding coalitions that have been established in our schools to have the conversation about not just academic, but attendance as well. And one of the things that we noted when we looked in attendance, most of the attendance factors were because we were suspending children. And so we had to step back and say, why are we suspending them? We're suspending children sometimes for things they can't control, particularly if there's a child who has an IEP or they have a 504 or they have other conditions, we're suspending them for behaviors that have already been identified as out of their control. So what else can we do? No, we don't want disruptions in our schools and in our classrooms, but what other supports can we put in place for our children? Next slide, please. This is our strategic dashboard. What we built is a dashboard so that we're doing all this work internally and we're having these conversations, but when we talk about community, which is one of our goals, how is it that our community is informed? And this is our data dashboard. So even if you go to our website, if you look, you'll see our data dashboard, and you're able to click on any of those indicators to see the progress that's being made as we move forward. And so we're being open, we're being transparent, and we're also being informative with our parents, with our students, and with our greater community to understand what Raytown is focused on and what we are attempting to do. Next slide, please. I already talked about those. I told you I don't follow directions, so I already talked about the fiscal piece and the operational piece. But we'll also talk about the manner in which we're spending monies. So we were fortunate, my first year, we were able to pass a bond. And so we've made some upgrades to our schools, and I'll show you those in a few moments. But right now, if you drive through Raytown, the construction has stopped, but we have changed the facades on all of our secondary buildings. So while we're not building new facilities, we're upgrading and enhancing the facilities, because if children feel like they are important and they're valued, they're going to do their best. And so how can we change this for them? And so there were some funds that were remaining, and we used those funds just to be fiscally responsible, to make sure that we're using the money that you as our taxpayers are providing for us, that we're using that to enhance the manner by which we're providing supports to students, but the facilities by which they are also learning in. Next slide, please. Community relations and communications is huge. We've upgraded all of the manner in which we are communicating. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Threads, we even have TikTok. And so you were supposed to laugh at that. And that came from a child or children. And so one of the things that I did when I said my first arrival here, understanding and learning who we were as a community, I actually have focus groups with students, elementary, middle, and high school. And I sit down with students, the principals select 10 to 15, sometimes they gave me 20 to 25 just to see if I can handle it, and I think I passed. I sit down and have a conversation with children, because children are our #1 customer. And sometimes we build plans for children to comply with without even asking them what they need, because oftentimes they do know what they need. And so from the conversations we've had with children from those focus groups, we've actually looked at work that needs to go forward. And one of the things they said is, Facebook's for old people. I don't know if you all know that, but that's what they told me. Instagram's not, that's like my brother uses that. Why don't you do TikTok? We have to look at that. And so communications said, Doc, I think we can do TikTok. They didn't tell me that I was going to be the TikTok creator and participant, but we began to use it for our snow announcements, and they were a hit. And so I think it's pretty good, because I told you I was called the Empress, but then when you go through the community and I'm in the grocery store and you hear a parent says, there's the TikTok lady. I don't know if I want to be called the TikTok lady, but hello. So we're going to make some shifts with that. But our communications department has done a really good job with making sure we're pushing information out. We have portals for our parents to go to access the information. Our splash page for our district has been upgraded and changed just to make sure the information is more accessible to all of our parents. And regardless as to the platform you use, we're utilizing it to push information out. Next slide, please. And so we started talking about some of the facilities. This is Herndon Career Center. I don't know how many of you have students who attend Herndon Career Center, but Herndon is absolutely amazing. We have students who are enrolled in cosmetology. It's a half-day program for all of our students, and we service 6 other school districts, neighboring school districts. They go and they do welding, they do automotive, cosmetology, nursing. We just recently, last year, put physical therapy in, and when you come into the building and you see the children, they leave with a certification and they go right into the workforce. And so oftentimes when I say children graduate, they need to have options. Whether a child decides to go into the workforce, whether they decide to go to college, whether they decide to go in military, and I oftentimes say, you know, you can do them all. Because if you graduate and you go into the workforce and you go to work for one of your companies that has college reimbursement, you can also go to college at the same time, and you could possibly go into the military too. So you don't have to limit yourself, but what I need you to do is embrace everything that we have to offer and to make it what you need it to be to support you. Next slide. This is one of the projects that took place with the bond that we talked about. We updated the auxiliary gym at Raytown High School. Raytown High School had an auditorium upgraded a couple of years ago. We didn't have enough space. The other thing that we were having challenges with is just with all the athletics that's being offered, we had to develop a schedule to allow children to rotate. And now we have our auxiliary gym. And so if you have not been through to see it, it is a work of art. Our children love it. Our community loves it, and it is actually amazing. The next slide. We actually just opened up the auxiliary gym and the Performing Arts Center at South High School. Absolutely wonderful. Now, we were supposed to have our convocation at South High School, but I don't remember which one of my colleagues said it, but sometimes you have to make adjustments. So school hasn't even been underway beyond today, before today, but so far we've had 2 power outages, and right now I have an amazing school that can't be utilized because we've had some issues with the facilities, and those students started today learning in a virtual capacity. And so if you want my autograph, because I've done interviews with about 5 news stations, and I asked how many more do I have, can we just do a press conference so we can spend time. But South High School, the auditorium, the Performing Arts Center is absolutely amazing. You can also transform it into another learning environment because everything we do is about teaching and learning, going back to our strategic plan, but it is absolutely amazing. Next, I think I'm done. And so, again, at the very beginning, did she follow directions? Thank you so much. You've been absolutely amazing, and I appreciate the time being here and your attention.
All right. You know, we are lucky to have these 4 incredible superintendents. All of you have given your life to children, to our communities, and we think about what makes Independence great. And we've got these 4 incredible school districts that are serving children, and our school districts do a lot, but 2 things that really stick with me are our school districts help build a strong quality of life in Independence, and that's what keeps our community vibrant. And they also are graduating learners that are ready to help our community continue to prosper into the future. And so that's why the Chamber of Commerce has such strong partnerships with our school districts, and we dedicate this important event, not just because, of course, the information feels great, but this is the future of our community. We're invested, and this is critical. So let's give a special round of applause to these 4 incredible leaders who are helping to move our community forward. I want to, again, on behalf of the Chamber, and I just want to recognize real quickly, if you are a Chamber staff member or board member, I didn't get a chance to recognize you at the beginning. Would you raise your hand and be recognized real quick? Wonderful. Grateful to have all of you here today. We welcomed, of course, Valerie. If you haven't had a chance to say hello to her, please do. We thanked our new friends from HTO, and you know, Dr. Martin Knox was not supposed to follow directions. I also forgot to follow directions. I forgot to also recognize and thank our friends, one of my neighbors on the Independence Square, Pickens Sweet Treats, who have been giving out sweet stuff today. Yes. Thank you for recognizing them. And we also got you one of these fancy coupons on your table. It says may only be used once, but I don't know if they can tell if I take it back to my copy machine or not. I'm not that cheap. I'm not that cheap. Go by Pickens Sweet Treats on the square. It's on Main Street, just north of Maple, so north of Ophelia's, if that's a landmark for you. They have a brand new facade. Their location is just a wonderful downtown place to shop. So go see Pickens Sweet Treats. So tomorrow, since you guys are all in the chamber mood and the chamber vibe, ribbon cuttings are one of the best things that the Chamber does. And we're actually cutting the ribbon on a brand new housing development at Independence at the corner of Artie Mize and Jackson called the Arabella Apartments. Lots of new rooftops in our community. We would love for you to be there. We're turning down the temperature a little bit. It won't be quite as hot tomorrow. So 2 p.m., we hope you'll join us there. And then we have this small little festival where we will welcome about 250,000 people into our downtown over Labor Day. We hope to see all of you at Santa Calagon. I will be at our Cub Scout cobbler booth, schlepping cobbler all weekend. Many of you have booths and things. So if you've not been to Santa Calagon before, please come and join us. If you're looking for meaningful volunteer opportunities, there are ways to assist the Chamber. Any of our staff members at the back can help connect you with volunteer opportunities. So I think that's it for the announcements. Again, especially for first-timers, thank you for being here today. Thanks for making this commitment to be part of the Chamber, and we will see you next time. Have a great day.